I'm Ira, and I'm with my mom, Swati.
Hi, I'm Swati. Today I'm reading the book The Babies of Cockle Bay.
Cuckoo Bay is my favorite bay.
Okay. The Babies of Cockle Bay.
The babies of Cuckoo Bay.
11 o'clock was nap time in Cockle Bay. The hairy old admirals crept into their hammocks. The lobster man yawned and pulled his oars. Great Grandma Shrimpnet remembered herself to sleep. All the babies of the town were burped, unbuttoned, and wheeled down to the seafront. And waiting at the seafront was Lily Bolero with a ball of string. Lily Bolero knew every baby in the town. She knew the teethers, the dribblers, the ones who sucked their thumbs, the ones who sucked their toys, the greedy gobblers, the windy smilers, and the grumbly growlers. But at 11 o'clock, said Lily Bolero, they are all my drowsy darlings. So she stuck each one up in a little boat, tied with piece of string to the leg of her deck chair, and set them gently rocking on the water. Then she would sing lullabies until they all nodded off to sleep. Bless you.
Thank you.
The mothers of Cockle Bay were happy to know that their babies were safe and sound with Lily Bolero. One warm Wednesday afternoon, as Lily hummed a lullaby, the babies rocked to sleep. And as they slept, they started to snore, louder than all the hairy old admirals put together. Snore, snored the babies. Arr, chuckled the captain of pirate ship that silently slipped into Cockle Bay. Snore, snored the babies. Sleeping angels, spied Captain Bilge from the deck of the Rotten Rascal. Snore, 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 snored the babies. Let's get them, whispered Captain Bilge to his crafty crew. And before you could say skullduggery, what the bosun in a parrot hat and a skirt made of ship's flag was lowering into the rowboat ready to set out for the shore. Quietly, the rest of the pirate crew put on their bathing suits, jumped into the water, and swam over to the sleeping babies. Suddenly, the great shadow of what the bosun loomed over Lily Bolero. Looks like thunder, missus, he said with a wobbly curtsy. Lily stared at the strange pirate woman. You are not from these parts, I believe, she said. Ah, no, I am from them parts, winked Watt. That is, I'm lost. And could you draw me a map to show me the way home? Lily frowned, but she began to draw a map of these parts and them parts in the sand. As soon as her back was turned, the paddling pirates cut the strings of the little boats and towed all the babies back to the Rotten Rascal. When Lily's map was finished, she looked for the lost pirate woman, but the beach was empty. And where were the babies? Oh, we missed this bit.
Oh, no.
Suddenly, boom! A cannonball was fired from the pirate ship. It whizzed over Cockle Bay and landed on Great Grandma Shrimpnet Marigold. The hairy old admirals fell out of their hammock and the lobster man fell out of his boat. Kidnapped, said Lily Bolero. Attached to the cannonball, Grandma found a ransom note which read, Arr, landlubbers, give us all your gold, or we will make your babies walk the plank. Arr, signed Captain Broadside Bilge. That pirate needs some spelling lessons, said great grandma Shrimpnet. All the people of the town gathered on the seafront in dismay. There was no gold in Cockle Bay. How could the babies be saved? Lily Bolero looked at the ransom note. I don't think these pirates are very clever, she said thoughtfully, and nodded. Any noddled knows a baby can't walk the plank. In fact, I'll bet a buttered scone that pirate don't know anything about babies at all. And that gave her an idea. We know there is no gold in Cockle Bay, she said, but the pirates don't. So she sent a note by pigeon post. Dear Captain Bulge, thank you for your cannonball. We only have one wheelbarrow to carry our gold, so please do be patient. Yours sincerely, Lily Bolero. This is how they used to, long time back, before postmans, this is how they used to send the letters with the pigeons.
So they
Pigeons used
just
to take.
write a note and then they cut a piece of string, tie it on a pigeon's
Yeah.
leg.
And it goes to other people and then it lands there. They would read the post. Plus, the babies,
How do pigeons know? They don't even know anything like humans.
they knew then.
Oh. So
You-
maybe if you do
now-
it now.
Yours sincerely, Lily Bolero. Plus, the babies wake up at 1 o'clock. Then Lily told the people of the Cockle Bay that all they had to do was wait. Sure enough, when the town clock struck 1, the babies began to wake up. And the babies woke up. They were hungry and so they began to cry. Now, Captain Bilge and his crew had never ever heard such a terrifying noise as 23 hungry babies. The pirates didn't know what to do. They rocked the babies, they tickled them, jiggled them, wiggled them, and still the babies cried. Captain Bilge tried to remember what his mother used to do when he was a baby. Smile at them, boys, he shouted. Smile at them, boys, he shouted. So the pirates put their horrible whiskery faces up close and grinned. Wow! The frightened babies howled and even louder. Blithering brancles thundered Captain Bulge and he fired another cannonball message onto the beach. Hurry up! Will your gold or else? Will your gold or else? Arr, Captain Bulge. But there was no gold in Cockle Bay. Lily sent another note. Dear Captain Bilge, our wheelbarrows has broken and the carpenters is fixing it. Please do be patient. Yours sincerely, Lily Bolero. Plus the babies are hungry. We'll bring bottles. Then Lily put the baby's bottles into the lobster man's boat and he rowed her out to the rotten rascal. On the pirate ship there were crying babies everywhere, up the rigging, in the cow's nest, and on the pop deck. The frantic pirate hauled up the babies' bottles faster than sunken treasure and burped them properly afterwards, instructed Lily as the lobster man rowed her back to shore. When the babies got the bottles, there was silence. Captain Bilge and the crew of the rotten rascal sighed with relief. They aren't bad little squats when they are sucking, whispered Wat, the bosun with the baby on each arm. Even the captain lifted his eye patch to wink at the tiny tot tickling his tattoos. Then, with a blush, he remembered that he was a cutthroat pirate. There better be plenty of gold, he growled. But there was no gold in Cockle Bay. Still, the people of Cockle Bay waited. The town clock struck 2. Wet nappies, announced Lily Bolero. And sure enough, 23 babies started to get that soggy feeling, and when they felt soggy, they began to cry. This time the pirates knew exactly what was wrong because the soggy feeling had soaked right through their knobbly knees. Wah! Wah! Cried the soggy babies. Let's throw them overboard, shouted the soggy pirates. But at the moment, Lily arrived with a basket of nappies and talcum powder. The soggy pirates hauled up the nappies faster than the rat eats the rations. And do mind the safety pins, warned Lily, as the lobster man rowed her back to shore. Captain Beoge looked at the wailing babies, he looked at the nappies, and he looked at his crummy crew. Then he took a deep breath. Be bold, me hearties, he shouted. Swab their sterns, powder their knees, and a barrel of ship's biscuit to the first man finished. Now, the pirates of the Rotten Rascal had never ever done anything as complicated as changing a nappy. Arms and legs flew everywhere in a great cloud of talcum powder. Nappies shot through the air, and safety pins stuck themselves into every pirate's clumsy thumb. When the talcum powder settled, only 6 nappies were on target. The soggy pirates were exhausted, and still the babies cried. Havoc and hullabaloo roared Captain Bilge. Where is the gold? He fired another cannonball message which simply said, We are putting up the plank, Bilge. But Lily Bolero merrily winked. They will be nearly ready now, she said. The town clock struck 3 as she sent her last message to Rotten Rascal. Dear Captain Bilge, our carpenter has to send for some nails. Please do be patient. Yours sincerely, Lily Bolero. Plus babies due for afternoon nap. Lullabies arriving. Lullabies or lullabies?
Lullaby.
When the lobsterman rowed Lily out to the pirate ship, she was welcomed aboard with more cheers than a mermaid. The Rotten Rascal was in utter pandemonium. All the drowsy darlings were crying sleepily. The soggy, exhausted pirates were yawning and sneezing with the talcum powder. And up on the pop deck, in a pile of bottles and nappies, sat the cutthroat Captain Broadside Bilge with 3 babies on his lap, blubbering for his mother. Lily dried the captain's tears, and then she began to sing. Her lullaby voice was so cozy as a cuddle, all the drowsy darlings stopped their sobs and nodded off to sleep. And then, one by one, the pirates felt their heavy eyelids close. What the boatswain sighed and put his thumb in his mouth. Captain Bilge nestled among the nappies and started to snore. Before the second lullaby was finished, everyone on the board, the Rotten Rascal, was fast asleep, except Lily Bolero.
Because she's the important one. Except
I know about pirates, said Lily with a smile. Some are sneaky scallywags, some are low-down lurkins, some stuck their thumbs and some sucked their toes. But after a spot of babysitting, they are all drowsy darlings. Gently she took the babies and tucked them up in their little boats. Then, towing the babies behind, the lobsterman rowed Lily to the stern of the Rotten Rascal and cut the anchor rope. As all the pirates slept, the Rotten Rascal floated out of Cockle Bay and away on the ocean blue. When Lily and the lobsterman returned to the beach, only the babies' mothers were there to meet them, because 3 o'clock was afternoon nap time in Cockle Bay. The hairy old admirals had crept into their hammock, and great Grandma Shrimpnet had remembered herself to sleep. So the lobsterman yawned and pulled in his oars, and Lily Bolero tied the babies' boats to the leg of her deck chair, and all the mothers of Cockle Bay kissed their drowsy darlings and went home to have a cup of tea, happy to know their babies were safe and sound with Lily. The end.
Hey guys, I have a question. I have like 3 quizzes, 3 answers for the quiz. If you do them, then we will give you, we will actually let you have something. I don't know.
Okay. What are the questions?
So, 1. This is actually not a question, but make your own story and send it to us. Make your own pirate and baby joke and send it to us. And there's one more. It's actually a question. How are stickers made?
Okay.
Bye.